very much, distinguished representatives. I'm very pleased to be here today at the launch of IDDR's International Disaster Risk Reduction Day campaign on women and girls, the invisible source of resilience. I agree with the previous speakers. Are they invisible or not is actually a question we could think of. Plan International has been a strong partner with UNHCR's Step Up campaign, which last year prioritized the role of children as agents of change for DRR. But this year's focus on women and girls is particularly special for Plan. As just yesterday, it's mentioned here, we commemorated the first International Day of the Girl Child, an advocacy achievement that we are very proud of, resulting from 5 years' work with the campaign Because I'm a Girl. Plan's work on DRR has brought to light the transformative role that children can play in building their community's resilience. We have learned that once granted access to relevant knowledge and information, and granted the support through appropriate resources and spaces to take part and to share their voices, children, and particularly girls, can play a leading role in safeguarding themselves and their families and their wider community from disaster risks. The process of change, where girls are going from vulnerable victims of disasters to agents of change for resilience, does not happen overnight. It requires commitment, resources and hard work to tackle entrenched power relations between adults and children, deep-rooted gender norms at households and community level, and complex socio-economical barriers that make girls invisible in their societies. But rather than listing the disheartening statistics on how disasters are affecting the rights of children across the globe, I want to take this opportunity to share with you some examples, some stories of the great potentials of girls that have contributed to DRR. So the first example is from the community of Santa Paz in the Philippines. A 15-year-old girl named Honey mobilized her high school of 379 students and their parents to relocate their school to safer grounds. Her conviction was sparked once she and her other colleagues at her school were made aware through Plan's DRR program in schools of the findings of a hazard assessment of their province conducted by the Philippine Mines and Geoscience Bureau. Facing opposition from schools' vendors, concerned parents and local authorities, Honey stood her ground on prioritizing the safety of her schoolmates and teachers and led the community-wide referendum, winning 101 to 49 votes, the agreement to push for the school's relocation. And she managed to do that. So this is the picture of her where she actually managed to change the place of their school. So this is really a great result because they are no longer exposed to landslides. In the community of Cangrejera in La Libertad in El Salvador, back in 2005, a 13-year-old Cindy and her family were affected by the Hurricane Stan. The experience was quite traumatic, with many losses of lives and damaging effect of the community. Since 2007, Cindy had joined Plan's DRR work. Through her active participation in Plan's child-centered DRR program, she learned how to develop risk maps, DRR action plans, and mobilize her community for better disaster preparedness. With this increased knowledge and skills, Cindy has been able to play a more active role in her community during the emergency response operation of Tropical Storm Ida 2009, Tropical Storm 12 in 2011, resulting in community better able to cope during the emergency. Cindy is now a well-respected community leader, hosting a weekly radio program on Cesar Radio, which reaches 6 neighboring communities, a total of 3,000 households, with disaster preparedness and mitigation messages, as well as talk shows with local authorities, holding them to account on their responsibility to act on DRR. I don't know what she's preparing now. As you know, this week, El Salvador is actually faced of quite, they are facing heavy rains and high risk of landslides. She's probably very active there. So these two girls are remarkable, and they bring the light of the potential role that many girls actually can do, can be active to help disaster-prone communities. It is high time for girls to be put on the map and their contribution to resilience to be made visible. Speaking of maps, Plan International, together with Oxfam, Great Britain, the Gender Disaster Network, and the Hawaii Commission, in the build-up of the DRR Day, launched the Women and Girls on the Map initiative, making use of crowd mapping to showcase global action to make visible women and girls' contribution to DRR. There are today 115 postings over 20 countries, and we encourage you all to visit this website and to bring in your contributions. As part of our Because I'm a Girl campaign, we are presently working on the next global report series, which will, in next year, focus on girls and disasters. So we are collecting evidence now, so if you know about girls actively working in disaster, I would be happy that you could let me know and we could bring in those examples in our upcoming report for next year. We at Plan International congratulate UNHCR for this year's theme of the Step Up campaign and look forward to a gender transformative year for DRR. By joining forces, we can empower more girls and women to become visible forces for resilience. Many thanks for your attention.